once, if everything's all right.
Wait, just give me a second, I'll check it. Yeah, seems fine.
It's fine.
Like, yeah.
You can hear me and everyone.
Oh, okay. I didn't check
Just
that because yeah, wait. Yeah, wouldn't mind saying something. Okay,
it's right.
I can hear. Yeah,
It's yeah. All right.
yeah,
You
it's
can
working.
start
Yeah.
with your part.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. It's six. On behalf of the Go Global Club LNCT, I want to welcome all our viewers joining us online today. Go Global Club, our mission is to connect students with global opportunities, experiences, and inspiring mentors who encourage us to think beyond boundaries. And we are extremely excited to host an accomplished LNCT alumna whose journey from India to the global tech industry is inspiring. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Shreya Khare, a 2021 LNCT alumna, master's graduate from the University of Texas at Austin, former Microsoft professional, and someone who has worked as a technical program manager at Confluent in Austin, Texas. Her journey across academics, analytics, and program management is a wonderful example of how determination and continuous learning can open doors to global opportunities. So much grateful to have you with us for this session. Before we begin, I'd like to invite you to briefly introduce yourself and share a little about your journey with our audience. Please, ma'am.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. And I know we had some scheduling conflicts last time. So yeah, thank you for rescheduling it and managing everything on your end this time. So as you already covered a highlight of my journey so far, but I would just briefly share about what it was from my perspective. So yeah, I graduated in 2021 from LNCTS. I pursued computer science and engineering. And after that, I worked as a technical consultant at Microsoft, where I was specializing in data engineering and AI solutions. So I worked for Microsoft for about 3 years before I started looking into my master's journey. And, I wanted to, move out of data engineering and just wanted to explore the other domains that I could get into, which were not completely technical, but were also, in touch with technical domain. So that's why I chose UT Austin's MSIS program, which gave me the flexibility to, cater my program according to my interests, the subjects that I were interested in, and like anything that, I wanted to do. Like the program was very flexible here. So that's when I had started application process 1 year before I left my job, but I started my master's in 2024. August 2024, and yeah, I just graduated this month, and it was a very enriching and a very unique experience that I had. It was truly one of the most how should I even put it? It was really amazing to be in touch with so many people from all over the world, be studying in the same class with professors who had published such amazing books who I kind of studied during my undergrad. So it was like a feeling that was out of this world and a very surreal feeling. So yeah, I think that was pretty much my journey, and I would be happy to answer any questions or anything that you guys would want to know about the journey specifically.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and congratulations on your graduation.
Thank you.
Uh, your journey is truly inspiring, and I'm sure our audience is excited to learn more from your experiences. And with that, I would like now to hand over the session to Aryan, who will be taking the interview forward. Over to you, Aryan.
Yeah. There are going to be a lot of questions, right? But at the same time, we do actually want to interview you on the basis of your experiences, how everything was happening abroad, and everything, right? So let's just start.
Mhm.
What initially sparked your interest in studying abroad, and why specifically abroad? Why not anything in India?
So I think I was in a unique position where have pursuing a master's was always part of my plan. Like before even starting my undergrad, I was like, yeah, I am gonna do masters because I think the path was carved for me because like I have had cousins who are who are still in the US, who are still in Dubai, who are still in Europe, and like they also did their undergrad in India and then they moved abroad for masters and then they were working there. So that was always kind of like one thing in the back of my mind that yeah, I am going to do masters. And there was no question or no second thought about it. The only question was when, what would the timeline look like? So I think my initial thought process was that like, oh, I will graduate in 2021. I will go for my masters. But that was like during first year, second year. I did my GRE coaching in third year, and I don't even remember. I think like towards the end of my coaching session, we had COVID. So yeah, I am again dating myself here, like very old. But like yeah, I graduated in 21. So everything that happened around COVID was like happening when I was in my undergrad. So then it kind of was like, oh, like people even who are going abroad are like doing online classes or who are like still living in India and are like, paying in dollars and euros or whatever. So like there's no point. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll get 1 year of, work X and then I'll go for my master's. But then Microsoft happened, so that kind of pushed the timeline indefinitely because I think like one of my thought process at that point was that like if I will be leaving the brand of Microsoft, like it should be like wherever I go should be comparable to that. Right, like so I do not want to go into some random program or some random university. Like I should be very specific about what I want to like out of my career outcomes, like what should they look like. So I should be more aware of how it should come out, and I'm actually very glad that that is how it happened. So I did I did work before coming here for about 3 years, and that kind of gave me a lot of exposure to how things happen in corporate, how to conduct yourself, how to advocate for yourself, because working in a big company, especially in India, felt like the processes are very rigid when it comes to your career growth, when it comes to what kind of work that you're doing. They are pretty much defined by others and not you. So that kind of like the experience before coming to US helped me shape my opinion, shape my idea, shape my interests. And that kind of helped me looking out for internships. And again, there's a huge cultural difference when it comes to work ethics, if you're working in India or if you're working in the US. So that I think my experience in India helped me shape my how I'm conducting myself here, and like specifically things that I should not be doing in terms of your boundaries. Work-life balance is a huge thing that you would want out of your career. You do not want to be working 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day, and then still having emails coming in and be like, oh, you need to reply to this ASAP. So yeah, those boundaries I was not very much I was not adhering to when I was in India. But like before coming here, I was like, oh, these are the things that I should be avoiding and I would never do again. So yeah, I don't know like if it answered your question perfectly or like if
Oh,
it
it
give you a
did.
better
It
insight
was
into
an
what it was.
awesome answer. I think people will actually love it because it came from the heart. Everyone desires that hectic life shouldn't be there. And me being a Gen Z,
Yeah.
I can totally understand that this is going to be the
Mhm.
next thing, right? So, yeah. So one of the best reasons for you to look outside was these kind of things like changes, lifestyle changes,
Yeah.
and in general.
Yeah.
So, like I wanted to understand what was your process of choosing that specific university, because I think that is something that a lot of people actually want to look at, right? Because they
Mhm.
can't just spend a lot of money and they would be like, oh, I just got into a
Yeah,
university, right? So could you
yeah,
tell me
yeah.
what were your specifics and what were your non-negotiables?
So, again, couple of things that I would like to say before I go into the details of it is like everyone has their own priorities when it comes
Most
to
definitely.
finalizing the universities or what programs they are looking for. So for me, when I started the research process, and like I was in like second year or third year of my undergrad at that time, when I started with the Excel sheet of all the universities and all the programs and everything that I wanted to look at when I would be finalizing the decision. I think at that point it was not that rigid. My final list like it took about 3 years to finalize the list of universities that I'm going, because like the process for me looked like that, because I started the process when I was in third year of college, but I ended up going for my master's in 2024. So that is why the process looked long, and it could be again as per individuals preferences. But by the time I was on my final iteration of the list of universities, again, as I mentioned earlier, I wanted something that was comparable to the Microsoft brand. So I did specifically look at top rankings as well, because I had 3 years of work experience, and that matters when you're looking for your master's program, or like, wherever you are going, because they when you're applying for your master's or like any program abroad, they look at your holistic profile. They do not look at your just GRE score, just your IELTS score, just your TOEFL score, right? So I had 3 years of experience at Microsoft, which again was like I felt was like a big thing, and I had good GRE scores. I had a lot of other things that were going on for me when it comes to internships, extracurriculars during college, undergrad degree. So my first thing was ranking. And again, ranking is not a one and done thing, because each program, each university, each website has a different ranking for universities, programs, and all those things. So it's like a mix of a lot of things that you need to look for if you're just going by rankings. Then finances was definitely one thing, because like you do not want to take a 60 lakh or 70 lakh loan, and then with the sole intention of getting a job and then paying it back. So finances was another thing. And location was a major thing, because I think Austin in general is a very good location to be at, because you have a lot of tech boom happening, and not just tech but all other industries also. Like some parts of it are in Austin, definitely. And there are universities which are considered very good university, but their location is like really bad. So for example, CMU is one of the top universities when it comes to students coming choosing it for like prestige or rankings and all those things. But it doesn't give you any location benefit. So for internships, for full-time offers and everything, you are looking at some other city and not where you are studying, and then it also kind of add more stress to it. So yeah, I think those were the things that I was looking at. And again, once I got my offers from university, then the decision, I think that was the toughest decision when it came to it, because then you have worked so much to finalize or curate this perfect list for you, and then you have multiple options which were like your top priorities beforehand itself. But then you are like forced to choose one out of all the things. So it's like picking a favorite baby, which
Yeah,
is like
you
really
started
not
nitpicking.
possible. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think like then it came to like such small points that, oh, the weather is very similar to Bhopal here, so I think I would be living more comfortably. Oh, my friend lives 3 hours away from this place, might as well just pick this one. So like those were the nitty gritty details that I got into once I had all the offers. So again, it's a very individualistic process. I cannot give you a roadmap of how to select the universities. It's like just list your priorities. What are they could be finances, they could be ranking, they could be location, they could be anything that like is important to you. And then just start researching like best MS program in this field, best university for this thing. And for selecting the program, I think I was pretty hard set on that. Like, I do not want to do computer science. After 4 years of my undergrad, I was like, okay, I am done. I cannot do this again. And
Understandable.
so after that, I was like, okay, what are the things that are related to computer science, but are not exactly, DSA or backend or like all those things. So again, a couple of programs came up in my research, which was MIS, MEM, IS, and all the IM, information management, information systems, and all those things, which do have like some technical component in it, especially since I was in data engineering. So they are all kind of focused on data analytics and all those things. So yeah, that's the process that at least worked out for me.
Yeah, yeah, I totally get it. Being a data engineer, I think it did you a favor, kind of, because being a data analyst is more of what is related to the business
Yeah,
side of the field. Yeah, it must have
yeah,
really
yeah,
helped you.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so I wanted to deep down on the part of the financial sector, right? So,
Yeah,
could you tell me about like securing scholarships and assistantships or managing the
assistantships.
student
Yeah.
loans and yeah.
Mhm.
So, could you tell me about
So,
those?
I,
Yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
I think one of the best thing, I was very lucky in a way that like I got my assistantship, which was a teaching assistant position when I was in India itself. So like I was flying out in August, and I got my offer for the TA role in July itself. So, and because of that position, I was fully funded. I was fully funded by the university in terms of I didn't have to pay tuition, I didn't have to pay for my insurance, and I would get a monthly stipend that covered my living expenses when it comes to groceries or like rent and like miscellaneous things that like any other expenses that I had here. So for me, loan was not a big issue. Like I didn't have to manage it. I did get a loan because during my research while applying for visa, it came up that like if you are taking a loan, you have more higher chances of your visa getting approved, because like then you have a reason to come back to pay back loan. And like so that is how it visa officer looks at your profile. Do they have enough reason to come back to India once their program is done? Because like, okay, this is a different topic. I do not want to get into this, but like, so visa, F1 visa, like the student visa for US, is a non-immigrant intent visa. So like, if you show any immigrant intent, your profile gets like automatically rejected. So that's why like I had a loan sanctioned before my visa appointment itself. And before flying back to the US, I did had like some minimal disbursement from loan. So again, another financial insight here is that when you take an education loan, entire amount is not given to you at once. You have to like, you have a sanction amount. So for example, if it's 50 lakhs and then your first semester tuition is 10 lakhs, so you would put up a request with the manager or like whoever is your loan agent that you need this much amount for your tuition here, and like so that much amount should be disbursed to you. So only the rate of interest and all those things are applied to the amount that is already disbursed and not at the entire amount. So for me, like that was not a big issue because I was a fully funded student here, so I didn't really do much disbursement of my loan.
Yeah.
So
This is kind of crazy. I understand that, but this is a very different aspect of what we actually have covered up until now, right? So, yeah, I think this would
yeah.
give a very big insight because people in general are
Mhm.
looking to go to US and have studies there, right?
Mm.
So this will help them a lot,
Yeah.
definitely. All right.
Mhm.
Could you
But
tell?
one other
All right.
thing,
Yeah, yeah.
sorry to interrupt
No,
there.
no, no.
One other
Yeah.
thing I would say, one other thing I would like to, plug into here is that if someone is taking a loan based on the, thought process that they would get funding and they would not have to, disburse the loan, and then they end up not getting funded. So like that should be that should not be the case. Like, again, hope for the best but be prepared for the worst is always a good thing to do. So make sure that people, if they are preparing for their masters and they are making decisions, they should not solely chalk it up to that, oh, I'll get scholarship, oh, I'll get this, oh, or I'll be funded, or I will be, not paying tuition or
Yeah, it
something.
should
That
be.
is like the best outcome. Yeah. But
Yeah.
again, be prepared for the worst as well.
Yeah, that is definitely something, because if it does not get approved or something, then it's upon you to
Yeah.
handle everything, right? Everything will get just
Yeah.
shattered. Yeah, I understand. But could you, so I was kind of curious about the TA role. Could you tell me more about it? What happens in it? Like how you guys operate and how everything happens? Because I actually haven't seen anything about the TA role.
So it's very subjective. So for me, my TA role was different. I was a TA for the EC department, for the engineering communications classes. So I would focus on how students are writing their resume, how they are building their reports, how they are writing emails. Like a lot of students don't know how to, especially in like first year, they don't know how to write emails properly, and just how technical documents are written and like all those things, how they are presenting themselves, like presentations and all those things. But maybe for someone who was a math TA, it would look like something else completely. For someone who was a, I don't know, physics TA, for someone who was like, it is very, so how we have classes, right? Like during our undergrad as well. So we also had a chemistry class, we also had a English class, we also had like DSA and I don't know, oops or something. So like
Yeah,
each class had a different syllabus. So each professor was different. So each TA role is defined by the professor, but most of the time it involves grading. It involves taking, all the additional duties that are done by professors in India, like during in our college as well. So for example, if they are giving us assignment, they are the ones checking it. If they are the ones who is proctoring the classes during exams and all those things. So those are the things, like the additional duties are done by the TAs. But for me, because I think it was very soft skills focused class, there were sessions that I had to take as well when my professor was out of town or he was not feeling well. So like I was the one delivering the content as well. So again, it depends on what class you're a TA of, or if you're a TA, because like there are other things as well. There's also student assistants, there's also research assistants, where like your whole work is on research, like you're helping professor conduct their research and everything. So each has its own job description, each class, each role, and yeah, it changes drastically.
yeah. I've seen the research assistant jobs in the Germany colleges and all,
Mhm,
because I think
mhm,
research
mhm.
is a lot like they intend people to have a lot of research, and also, yeah, I think I've seen that
Yeah.
there. Okay, let's dive into the next question. Right. How is it like how different teaching methodologies were taught to you? You know, what were the cultural differences, or maybe, how they taught you everything from practical experiences and everything.
I think again, this is something that is very subjective to the class, to the professor, because each professor is responsible to make their own syllabus and like what they will be teaching and everything that would be happening in that class. So it changes with every class, it changes every year, it changes with every professor. One difference that I did feel here, or like I don't know if it was a difference or it was just like a standard change, that like, oh, I was an undergrad student, so that's why teachers were like always behind me to submit my assignments, to submit sessionals, to submit, like be present in class and like all those things. And here it's like, oh, if you're in class, you're in class, if you're not in class, you do you, sort of thing. But again, like we did have classes where attendance and class participation was a major part of the whole overall grade. We did have classes where professor would like send out reminders to submit the assignments and all. But again, it comes to, I think, this during masters, it could just be that like people expect more from grad students, like, oh, you are responsible for your own success now, and like no one's gonna
Yeah.
be forcing you to be successful here. So it's mostly that. When it comes to class content, I do feel that a lot of classes that I did take cover majority of the stuff that I did study in undergrad. So, for example, if I took a class which was about data or databases and all those things, so it was majorly what I did study in my, I don't know, fifth or sixth semester as well. But like again, you have more practical approach here. There are certain professors who would invite guest speakers to share their experiences. We did have a class where we were working for startups, and because Austin is a very startup friendly city, so we do have a lot of startups, so we had the option to work with a lot of startups. And Austin has, I don't know, Dell headquarters, AMD headquarters, and also like there was a professor who worked at AMD and like who was still working at AMD, I think. And he invited CTO to give us a guest lecture. And there were other guest lectures as well who were like very well positions in their fields or in their companies, and they would just come up and like share their experience. We did have someone from Salesforce and who was also a very like high level position. I just don't remember who it was.
That's all
So
right. Yeah. Okay. So could you tell me the student professor dynamic? Like, how approachable are the professors and how much do they help you and everything?
Professors are very helpful. I think like that is the case everywhere. Like during my undergrad, how my relationship with professors were, it was pretty similar here as well. Like they are very helpful. They like you just need to approach them for whatever you need. They will not come up to you and be like, "Oh, do you need this thing? Should I give it to you?" You have to take ownership of what you need to be successful and like how they would be helping you out. One difference I did feel here was that like a lot of my professors were adjunct professor, meaning that they had a full-time position outside of academia, and then they would come in and like give us lectures. So they had more connections in the industry. So they would be very open about referrals. If you need any referrals or if you need any introductions or connections, we would be happy to help with those things. So I think that was just because of where my university is located. Maybe not all students would have this benefit when it comes to it, but I think people in general, I would not say just professors here or there, people in general are very helpful. You should just be able to get the help out of them, because no one's coming to you and give their help. You need to ask for it.
Yeah. All right. All right. So, another thing, how competitive was it between the students, or was it more of a collaborative thing that you guys did at the PGs and all?
So again, I'm not living in a PG. So like PG system is not something that we have here. You are either living in a dorm which is university specific, or you have a apartment. And like most grad students live
All
in an
right.
apartment or like
So
a house or
I think
something.
I think I framed it wrong. Like in the university, how was the dynamic between the students? Right. So were they more of competitive with each other, or were they more collaborative and more helpful to each
See, when there are only limited number of positions or seat that you are vying for, or like you are in the same field, there will always be competition. It's just on the student or the person that if that competition is like the first thing or like the priority that they want to have, or the relationships that you're building with others should be given priority. And like so it becomes a very again a very individualistic thing, that oh, if they are helping you out, are they helping you out just to sabotage you, or are they genuinely helping you out? So competition is everywhere, even if you're in India, even if you're in the US. No matter even if you're in a job, like there are only certain number of promotions that are available every year, or like every promotion cycle, right? So
other?
competition is everywhere. It comes to you how you are managing that competition, or is that the only thing that you're thinking about? So again, people in general are nice, but then there are certain people who would be who would be favoring competition more than, their relationships, their personal friendships, or their personal relationships with others over, you know like, again, there's no one answer to say that they are
Yeah, it's
collaborative or
basically
they are.
a spectrum of people having different
Yeah,
personalities, right?
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm,
Okay, I
hmm.
understand that. All right. Could you tell me, like, what was the biggest cultural difference that you experienced when you got there for the first few weeks and you were like, oh, this is new?
Okay, so one thing I am always, my parents are here right now, and even they are shocked with this, how everyone, on road follows traffic rules. So we have something called right of way, where, if a car is going and then there's a pedestrian crossing the road, the pedestrian or the person who's on a cycle has the right of way. So they have the right to pass first. So the car would stop for you, and they would actually, action to you that, like, oh, you go ahead. And in India, that is such a huge shock that, oh, that can't happen. So, and I think, so for me, I have, every semester break I did go to India, and I think by my second semester break, I had anxiety while traveling on, traffic or like in cars. I was like, I cannot do this. I'm like, oh my god,
I,
the car was this close. Oh my god, it would have just collided. That was exactly the thought process that I had.
I
So yeah, I
totally
think
understand
traffic
that.
was like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, just thinking about it, when people are so considerate, they would stop and then coming to a
Yeah.
place where you don't know if it's going to be your life or death. So, yeah, I think that changes a lot. That's a very big dynamic that has changed.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
And it's
So,
not just people being
huh,
considerate, it's the rule here actually that, like, pedestrians are given the right of way, people on cycle are given the right of way. You have to stop, otherwise you will be fined. So like they generally have this rule. So yeah, moving
all
on.
right. I mean, they definitely regulated better than in India, right?
Yeah, that is true.
All right. So building a life from scratch is tough, right? How did you find the housing,
Mm,
making friends, and having that support system, right? Like, how did you find it?
mm. I think that was definitely difficult, and this is something that everyone who is moving countries and like just packing up their lives in two suitcases to move abroad to, or to even a different city in the same country. In the same country, it's just a bit easier because like people are from the same, you know cultural background, or they have like same habits, same language, or those things. So it does get a bit easier. Not saying that it's like very easy, but moving abroad is.
They would still get used to the traffic. It wouldn't change.
Yeah. Yeah, they are in the same traffic rule system. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like moving abroad definitely is difficult. How I went about it initially was like through WhatsApp groups. Like you would get Reddit pay links to different WhatsApp group, different universities, different programs, and all those things. LinkedIn is also there for like people posting, oh, I would be joining this university, and you just reach out to them. So then it becomes a small, very self-sustained community, because again, it's mostly the same country that is having the WhatsApp groups. And again, WhatsApp is something that is very uh, which has more momentum in India as compared to the US, because people generally prefer iMessaging here. So again, it gets divided into those things, but it's like a self-sustained ecosystem where if I am able to find one group, I am able to find 20, 30 other people who would be in the same university, or people who would be in the same program as well. So that is how I got to know people before coming here. Then I knew seniors. So one of my school friend graduated from the same program 2 years back before I came here. So she was like a guiding light for me. Someone I worked with, like knew someone who was like still studying in the same program. So like that again became like a bible for me. Like anything that was like happening in the process, like for admission, for application or anything, I would just go to her and like be like, oh, like what do I do about this thing? So you need to network in a way where, like, you're finding people. And again, people are generally very helpful, because like someone who's in the program went through the same thing. They were also, clueless about everything that was going on, and someone guided them through the process. So they are also willing to give back to the community when it comes to it. If someone reaches out to me and they gave a 10 point questionnaire to me, that, oh, I have all these questions about this program, I would be like, oh, I will answer these. Just give me time. I will get back to it whenever I get a chance to respond to this. But like, they are very helpful in general. So again, social media is your biggest resource here. LinkedIn, Reddit, WhatsApp. These are the places where you would find people who would be, going through the same thing, or who would be in your same boat, in under the same timeline and all those things. So yeah, for housing, I think like the person who I knew was in the program, I reached out to her about asking how she found her apartment, and she shared a realtor's contact information with me. And like, the realtor was really nice. She to me and my person that I was looking with for my apartment first, like both of us, she took us, like the realtor, her name was Marion, I think. So Marion took us to all the different places. She showed us on video call. So my roommate, her and I, we would just decide on, oh, these were the things that I liked about this apartment. And she was like, oh, I have a similar thing that I can show you in a different apartment. So yeah, that was like a very, I think, a helpful way to do it, like looking at it, because we can't decide anything else without it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So you had like a roommate beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, I found the roommate on the WhatsApp group. So I got a Reddit,
Ah, okay.
like I got a WhatsApp group through Reddit, which was for like the entire university 2024 admits. It was called UT Austin 2024 admits, and it had like 500, 600 students. And like, yeah, I posted there that, oh, these are the details. Like, oh, I'm looking for I don't want to share my room and all those things, that like these are my requirements, and I'm looking for someone
Right.
to share an apartment with. So like, couple of people reached out, and like I finalized on one of them. So
All right. I think that's a very generous process that you explained. Like going from Reddit to a WhatsApp group and then, having this conversation with a lot of people so that you would be able to find a roommate and maybe friends, right?
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
in general. So, I wanted to ask you something more. Like, how about the diversity? Like, I for sure know that USA has a lot of diverse people, right? So, was it easier for you to like indulge with them or like have a conversation with them? Or how was it?
I mean, because everyone's new, right? So you have two or three questions that you can just like you memorize and be like, oh, these are the questions that I'm gonna ask you. Where are you from? What did you do before? Like that, everyone is curious to know about these things. Oh,
Curious.
where are you from? Oh, someone would be like, oh, I'm from India. Someone would be like, from I'm from Germany. Someone would be like, from, oh, I'm just from Texas and from other city. It's like this far from Austin and all those things. So it's, and then you hit it off. Like, you are also able to understand if someone's interested in engaging with you or not. If like you are the only one asking questions, then the other person might not be interested in talking to you, or they might be like busy with something, and that's why they are not engaging much. So you just move on to like the next person. It's not that hard to understand that if someone's interested in talking to you, or are you interested to talking to them. Sometimes you would just be like, oh, I'm getting bored by talking to this person. I don't want to talk to this person. I might as well network with someone else. So it's pretty easy when it comes to, it's just that I know it's hard. Like if someone's an introvert, or someone has not, come talked to a lot of new people in a very new setting all of a sudden, but then you get used to it, because how long will you not talk to anyone in a new setting? If you're going to career fairs, you need to talk to a bunch of people. If you're going to a class, you need to talk to people. Like humans
Yeah,
in general are
communication
very
is the
social people.
base.
Yeah, if you do not talk to people for a very long time, you would get depressed. It's on you to get you out of that state. So and I think when it comes to diversity, people of the same, like birds of the same feather do flock together. So I think like the community that I was living in was very Indian heavy. Like people were from India. Like I'm from Bhopal, like originally as well. So I did find people who were from Bhopal, like only one or two, because I have not met a lot of people who are from Bhopal here. But it was a very good thing to know that like, oh, people from Bhopal are also here. And then I think during classes or groups as well, we would just tend to sit together like as Indians, because like then you just get more
Yeah.
comfortable with people. But there are classes where like groups are decided by a professor or the TA, so you get more diverse groups there. And I think like one thing that I did notice with me was that during my first 2 semesters, I was speaking like how I would speak in India only. Like there was no accent, no, not even hints of accent in me. But during my internship itself, I think like I started picking up like accented words, where like I would, stress on my r's, or like just change some afflictions in my word as well, because like I was working with only people from other cultures, or people from like other countries, and like
Yeah.
there were very less Indians. So I think like when it comes to diversity, you do have a lot of diversity, but you have to be actively picking the diversity. If you're just again with your community, or like people who you already know, then it does get like less diverse, but then it's on you.
Yeah. So if you don't like, encourage yourself to have a conversation with them, you're
Yeah.
just going to be stuck with those Indians, right? So
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to be stuck with it, but again, that's not the reason why you went to the US for diversity in the first place, right?
yeah,
So,
true. And very understandable. Okay, coming to the new question, could you tell me how effective was the university's career committee and all in getting someone a job or career fairs and everything?
one thing that is fundamentally different here from India is that we do not have a placement seasons. Companies do not come to the university to like pick up do mass hiring or do something or the other. They do organize career fairs, but you are the one who is responsible to go there, talk to recruiters, talk to people, network, and get something out of it. I think I did see people getting converts from career fair, but like they were from very niche programs or niche fields like hardware design or chip work or like those things. People who were in data, people who were in like software engineering, ML, or data science, they did find it very hard to convert something from career fair, because like again, there are limited positions and there's like abundance of students who are applying for the same positions, right? So the recruitment process for these roles is pretty hard. But when it comes to the role that university plays into it, is that like they will invite these companies to be part of the career fair, where again student goes and talk to them. Student is the one doing their own networking. University will also organize networking events. They would organize resume building sessions, talking to people. We legit had a session called talking to humans, because like with chat gpt and all those things, people are like just not used to talking to each other, and they are just typing, oh, what do I reply to this email and all those things. So again, they would help you to their level best. They would do mock interviews. They would, again, these are the resources that they provide, but you are the one who is responsible to avail them. It's not like they're coming and asking you to be a part of it. So sorry. Uh, yeah, again, so you have to be the one going and asking for these services, and they would be happy to oblige with those requests. But they do not in general have a placement season. They do not invite company to specifically hire. They invite companies to network with the students. They invite companies to see what the students are interested in, and they would organize these sessions. But that is where it is different. Like students are responsible for finding an internship, finding a job, finding their capstone projects, or whatever they need.
All right. So,
Yeah.
what do the most of the students do? Like, how do they find the job and everything?
So again, networking, LinkedIn is your best resource. Reach out to people who are in the companies or who are in the roles that you are interested in. Ask them about, like, be curious. Do not reach out to someone, oh, I'm interested in this role, can you refer me for this? That is like the best way to get ghosted, I would say. uh, Reach out to people, have an actual conversation with the person, be curious about them, like have this innate curiosity in you where you are actually interested in the person and not just the outcome that you can get from them. Because unless the other person also feels valued, they would not be that open to help you. They would be willing to, but they would not be really, keen on doing it. So LinkedIn is a great resource. Your alumni network is a great resource. Reach out to alumni who went through the same process. And again, alumni are someone who is most likely to help you if you don't know anyone. Like if I know someone graduated from an MSIS degree in 2023, and I would reach out to them and I say, oh, hey, I just graduated and from this degree, and I was curious about this program and blah blah blah. Can you just guide me for it? They would be very happy to help me, because like they were literally here where I am. So they have the soft corner for you. Like how, you would reach out to someone and you have this common thread with them, and they would be more, happy to connect. If you find someone who is from your same hometown, you're happy to know them. You don't know them, you don't know anything about them, but you're, oh yeah, you're from Bhopal, something kind of like that. So again, those, leverage all these networks. Then there are meetups as well. So I think that is in India as well, meetup.com, where like people from the same uh niche interest forms a group, and they're like, oh, we are doing this event, please join. And like people would go. And again, networking, there's like abundance way to network. Could be meetups, could be events, could be conferences, could be whatever, hackathons and all those things. So yeah, those are the things. I think like there's no exhausted list that I can share, that oh, these are the
Yeah.
only ways where you can network. Networking can come from
So
anywhere, I would say.
yeah, it can, yeah. So I just wanted to ask you, do you specifically have some tips on like, if someone had to target networking on its own, right? How should
Mhm.
one approach it? Or like, the specifics of who should I target? Maybe the professors or, you know.
I mean, depends on where you are in your life stage. If you want to get an admit to a university, then target professors. If you are looking for an internship, target university recruiters. If you're looking for a job, target just recruiters. So because I already had admits, I was targeting for like my next stage which would be internships. So when I was in India, I got a LinkedIn premium from a friend that I knew in LinkedIn, so that I could get a free LinkedIn premium. And then I would just search recruiters and like different locations, for example, Austin, Texas, and like all those things. And I would just connect with all the recruiters that would come up. And then I would like, be specific to a company as well, recruit, university recruiter, Microsoft, and that I would just connect with everyone. So I think I use that as a best networking tactic with recruiters. And like people still ask me, like people, my peers from the program, they would be like, oh, how are you connected with all the recruiters that I am looking at? I'm like, oh, I did that in India. And like now I'm just, doing, I'm adding, constantly adding recruiters, because like those are the people that would, help you get your next opportunity. They would help you get your internship. They would get you your jobs or anything. So I think that was a tactic that worked for me. I don't think I did anything else. But I know people who have joined clubs to network. I know people who have participated in hackathons, or it's not just the university that organizes hackathon, because there are companies as well, and people would just be a part of that. And again, this is why it matters where you are, like what is our actual physical location, because then you can actually go and join these things physically rather than just doing it virtually. Because physically there's like a different, sense of comfort that you have, like where you are not that formal. Like even if you're in a formal setting, there would be a time when you would be formal, and then after that you can just be, you just become close friends. So I think it really matters just showing up to different places and just trying to connect with people on a personal level rather than just on a professional note.
All right. Okay. So, I wanted to ask, so this kind of looks like, see, university letting it go and like students having to figure out the job market themselves, right? So, could
Mhm.
you tell me what were the negatives of the job market in the international job market that you saw?
I think one of the biggest negative that people struggle with is like sponsorship, because international students need visa sponsorship. So there are a lot of companies that are reluctant to sponsor. There are a lot of companies that do not even sponsor. There are companies that used to sponsor, but because of like recent changes or the administration and all those things, they are like stopping the sponsorship process. So that is something that everyone as an international student struggles with. And again, the job market is not that great right now. So I know in 2021, 2022, people would graduate with 2 3 offers in hand with like 250K, 300K and all those things, and people are struggling to get even one at this point. So job market is very dynamic, but at the same time it's not that great at this point, because I know I still see my peers struggling to even convert interviews. Like they are just constantly applying and they're not hearing back. And that's a very stressful time, because it's the uncertainty that bothers you, because like you don't even know when you're going to get an interview, then what interview will convert to, whatever. So but like the only thing that I can say about that it is like it's definitely a luck based game, but it's also a number based game. If you keep applying, you have more opportunity to get an interview or to get a final offer, rather than just not applying. For my internship, I don't even know how many roles I applied to, but I received only one interview from all those, and that was the internship that I got. And it was not just my summer internship, they extended me for my fall internship as well. And then I did my capstone with them as well. So I just didn't leave them after summer. Like I just stuck to them. So again, it's definitely a numbers game, and it's definitely heartbreaking. It's definitely very gruesome process just to wake up and constantly apply and not knowing when you will hear back. But that's the most that you can do about it. Except for networking, reach out to recruiters. So there are softwares available where you can get emails for recruiters through LinkedIn or wherever. Check out the people recruiting for the role that you're interested in, reach out to those recruiters with your resume and like a brief about you, so that in a bunch of like 100 200 not even thousands of application, like if the recruiter is receiving 50 emails, you're at least one of them, so that they have you in their mind. And that's the only thing you can do at this point.
Yeah, I understand. Even see, the job market in itself, all over the world is going up and down. Some places it
Yeah.
is going up because of the AI and everything boom, but at the
Mhm.
same time, because of the AI boom, it is going down, right? So it
Yeah.
is a very big dynamic and everything. And yeah, this is kind of
I
very
mean,
sad.
it's also, yeah, it's also like about like a matter of time, right? Like when COVID hit, a lot of jobs took a hit, but there were also booms happening some places or the other.
Yeah,
So there is this position called forward deployed engineers that are coming up a lot now. Every company that has AI scope in their profile, or like who works with AI at some point or the other, are coming up with these roles, which is basically hiring people as consultants to figure out where AI could happen, or like sell the products with AI. And it's called forward deployed engineers, if anyone wants to research into it. So we are seeing the boom, or like creation of new jobs happening. It's just too nascent at this stage. It's very new at this stage to
yeah.
give us a proper impact. But maybe in a couple of years things would change for the better. Things could change for the worse as well.
Hopefully,
But
hopefully.
we could just be hopeful about it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna be coming to the last few questions, right? To conclude,
Mhm,
I
mhm.
wanted to ask you, before your entire journey, what is the one thing that you wish you had done before boarding our flight, uh, you know, to go abroad?
Uh, I don't know, pack more Indian groceries, I think. I don't know. That's a very good question. I think I think this has been an experience for a lot of people here where, like, they would have problems with the people that they are living with. So, and that's like once you sign a lease, you're kind of constrained to that lease. So maybe just figure out if the person that you are going to be living with like is worth living with, or like will you be actually compatible. Because, and I know especially it's true for people who share a room and not so much sharing an apartment. Because like if you're sharing a room, even the smallest things bother you, like, oh, why is the fan at this speed, why are you turning on the light, why are you wearing slippers where my bed is, and all those things. So like these are the things that no one talks about early on, because they're like, oh yeah, yeah, we can live. And especially like if you have lived in India, you are used to having help, like house help around you, right? Like you have your maids
Yeah,
doing your
understandable.
jhadu pocha, you have your maids doing your dishes. And once you're here, you are responsible for doing all these things, and then you're responsible for cooking as well, because like eating out is very expensive here. Ordering food is very expensive here, because like you have so much taxes, so much delivery fee, and then you have to tip on top of that as well. So like it's very expensive living here.
$50 straight.
And then you, yeah, not 50, but like, oh, for like if I'm paying 15 or $16 for a biryani at a restaurant, I would be paying 25 just for the delivery without tip. So like
All
$10,
right.
like you have for taxes, you have for small card delivery fee, and I don't even know what all the fees are here. But you are already stressed with all these things. You are stressed about your classes, assignment, deadlines, internships, jobs, then the house chores, and then like, oh, I have to clean my washroom, I have to do jhadu, I have to do pocha, and all those things. And then on top of that, you have this person that you are not completely fine living with.
Completely fine with.
So I think that would be my biggest takeaway here, is that like struggling later on for like one entire year is not worth it. So
Yeah, I understand.
people like should be very careful who they are choosing early on, because I see so many people who struggled with it. And especially for people who are sharing a room, because like they cannot even go to their room to be like to have their own space. So yeah, I think that would be one thing that I would say for sure. Like you should be sure before boarding a flight.
All right.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you one more thing. Did you ever stop converting, currencies in your head?
So I actually never did convert it, because people who are converting currency are the ones who are like taking money from India and then using it here. Because for me, I
Yeah.
was fully funded, I was earning in dollars, so I didn't really do the conversion. But then for basic amenities, like I would be like, oh my god, this is so expensive. In India it's like 70 rupees, and here it's like, oh, $2, $8, and all those things. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think like, I was in a very different position. Not everyone was in that position, or like will be in this position,
Yeah.
because my parents do it right now. Oh my god, this is so expensive. This is $12. I'm like, why are you looking at that $12? Look at like rupees. Like, why are you looking at 12 into 95, 96, whatever it is?
Yeah.
But like, look at the dollar value, not the INR value at this point.
Yeah, that is very understandable because this is kind of a going on thing. Like people who have gone
Mm,
abroad do
yeah.
intentionally turn their money right in
Yeah.
their head.
I think I did that before I landed here, because at that point I was looking at rents and all to sign the lease, and the rent was like anywhere from like 800 to like 1200, $1,400. And I was like, oh my god, 1 lakh for rent for 1 month, 12 lakhs for 1 year. Oh my god, I don't want to do that. But then like you get used to it, and it's also
Yeah.
like very subjective in a way that what area you are living in, what community you are living in. And all student communities are generally like the self-managed one, not the managed apartments or like high rises, but like the smaller communities are pretty cheap in a way that like if you're sharing a room especially, it can be anywhere from like $300 to $650, or like if you have your own room, it could be from 600 to like 1500 or whatever dollars. So like you decide your budget, you decide where you want to live, so that
Yeah.
that is the money you would be paying.
Yeah, it's a
So
very good dynamic, but at the same time, it's like half
mhm.
the cost. It is going to linger a lot of people. I definitely know that. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that
that
is
is
I think that is because even if they earn that much there, they would still be looking at it in INR.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a very I think that's like a very hurtful way to look at it, because if you're coming here and then you're still converting to everything to INR, then you are not even like you will not be able to live properly.
Live
Because
properly, yeah.
if I take example, yeah, if I take example of bread is like $5 here. So if you convert it to it's almost 450 rupees or something, like depending on whatever the
Yeah.
rate is at right now. So like, you cannot survive without bread here. So how are you
It's
gonna
a very
like
basic
convert
amenity. You
everything?
won't,
And you're not gonna make roti every day. You need bread, you need rice, and all those things. So
yeah.
it gets hard if you keep converting everything. Like for some things, it makes sense to I'm like just be mindful of your spends. If you're not spending on unnecessary items and like you're only spending on essentials or like things that you want to do, things like if I want to travel and I'm spending on that, but then like that's my only want expense and not a need expense, then I can spend more on the need expenses and be less frugal about it.
All right. Yeah, I think that is one of the things people should be, because if
Hmm.
you start converting, you would just not live.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. All right. So one last question, and that would be the end of
Hmm.
it. All right. So I just wanted to ask you. I think you have already given a more slightly off answer about it. But what would be the significant thing that you would tell your peers or students who want to go abroad, right? What would you piece of advice? What would you give them?
I think I touched upon this before as well. Hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst with the
Yeah.
job market situation, with everything. I think a lot of people ask me if I should be coming to US to do my masters, and I'm like, I am no one to decide what you should be doing. I can only give you advice on what my experiences have been here, based on the opinions that I had initially and how my opinions changed with the experiences here. But what worked out for me, or what I did wrong or I did right, would not be the same as like what you will be doing here or what you should be doing here. But if someone is coming to the US taking a 70 lakh 80 lakh loan, and like their only mode of repaying is that like they think that, oh, I'll get a job in the US and then I'll pay in dollars, so like it will balance it out and all. I would strongly advise that like they think about it twice, because like jobs are really scarce at this point. I have seen a lot of people who graduated, who lived here for a couple of years, but still didn't have jobs, and then they ended up going to India because like they didn't have a job here, and then they got jobs in India like within like 2 months of landing in India. So, and for someone who's making like 25 lakhs in India, again, your living standards would be pretty much same here if you're going to be making 25 or like above that, or like even less than that based on where you are living. So like do your research and have a backup plan when it comes to your expenses, when it comes to repaying loans. If someone's not taking a loan and just they want to experience the life of living abroad, or just want to exposure or like world citizens or whatever, then good for you. Like then you can do whatever you want because you have the money to sustain that lifestyle. But like if someone is like very like they just want to like get out of poverty or like do something about it, then this is a very wrong way to look at it. Because like selling the US, like American dream, is no longer an American dream, because like people here are dreaming about paying rent because rents are so expensive. People are dreaming about buying organic groceries because like those are very expensive. So just prepare your like coming here should be a purely financial decision at this point. is what I feel. Because people who came here before 2020s, they were in a very good, they were in a very lucrative position where industry was booming, where growth was happening at a very fast pace, where there was an abundance of jobs. So everyone had a job, everyone had multiple jobs with a good package and everything. But right now that is not the case. Jobs are diminishing, number of people are increasing. So it is more of a financial decision than a, you know, dream of coming to the US. I think like that was for me as well. Like I, it was a dream for me to come here, and like I was very grateful that I was able to achieve that dream. But now when I see the actual situation here, it's like, oh, like that was a very risky thing that I did. Because I was working in India, so it's not just the tuition cost or the living expenses or these things that I was giving up. I was give like the opportunity cost for me was foregoing my salary, was foregoing my career growth that I had built over 3 years, foregoing the comfort that I had of my home, foregoing all the conveniences that I had in India. So, and here it was just uncertainty. Will I get an internship? Will I get a job? Will I get assistantship? Will I get funding from the university? So I still like think about all those times and I get goosebumps. So like, oh my God, what if this one thing hadn't happened? I would have not had anything. So like it's a very scary thing to think about now, but like I'm past that. So I prefer not to think about it.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
bad
think for
memories.
someone who's yeah, for someone who's aspiring to come here, I'm not trying to scare anyone if
No,
that
no,
is how it is
it's
coming
totally
out.
all right because we have to face the reality at some point of time, and
Yeah,
they can't do it after they've
yeah.
like gone for the
Mm-hmm.
flight, right?
Exactly, exactly. So, like, be cautious about these things, have a plan B, always have backups, and try to talk to as many people as you can to understand the reality, because like one person's reality might not be the reality for the other. So like that would, like, if you talk to more people, you would get a like overall holistic
Broad
picture rather than,
spectrum.
you know, just one person saying that, oh no, I got a job, so like you will also get a job, or no, I didn't
Yeah,
get a job, so like, oh no, there are no jobs, you should not come. So make up your own decision. Don't rely on someone who's already here, or who like who has already had like different experience already to decide for you if you should come here or not, is what I would say.
yeah,
I don't know, that
that's
was a
great.
very brutal answer.
It was brutal, but I think that is something that each and every one of us should consider because I myself has been
Mhm.
have been like teaching all the students and like everyone who has come
Yeah,
up to me and saying that yeah, be mindful of your decisions because these are going to have a
yeah.
very huge impact, right? So yeah,
Hmm.
that's that. I think that would be the end of it. All right.
Hmm.
So thank you everyone for watching with us and having. Thank you, Shreya, for having this conversation. It was surreal and it was so good to have this conversation. We got a lot of insights, and I think people would have loved what you gave out today,
Hmm.
right? So, coming to the end, this is the end of Beyond Borders episode number 6. Thank you again, everyone, watching again for watching. We will see you next time.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
All right. One second. Actually, there are a lot of like there are two questions that a person has stated in the comment section, right? How to improve communication skills or from which platform?
Okay, I don't think I can answer for a platform uh perspective. Like for increasing communication, the best way to you know, help it is practicing, talk to more people, you know. There, oh, I do remember there was something called Toastmasters that was in Bhopal that kind of helped with these things, like
Yeah,
to improve communications and you know, just public speaking, and like just to, you know, help you with the fear of public speaking as well. So but I was never a part of it, or I don't have any advice on the platform part of it. Just practice, talk to more people, participate in debates or extempores or whatever happened. I never did those, so like I am no one to say that do these things. Just talk to people and try to be confident. I was very scared of public speaking. I was very scared of speaking in front of like at least like even three people. I would start stammering and all those things, but like yeah, and I would have panic attacks before interviews as well. But yeah, those are the things that got back better with time, and like you just start coping with it rather than completely getting over it. Again, a very brutal way to say it, but yeah, I think just keep practicing. Practice makes perfect. So
All right. So practice, and I think in general, if the students would consider that having a conversation with someone would help you a lot, right? In general, because
mhm.
people don't
Yeah.
converse in English, and you have whenever you are having a speech or whenever you are, having an interview or some kind of, try to think of it this way that you're having a conversation rather than you're being interrogated, right? Don't be
Mhm.
afraid of someone. They're just as human as
Yeah,
you are, right? Everyone will make mistakes
that
and everything will
exactly.
happen.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I
So
couldn't have put it
another,
better myself.
yeah. All right. So another question: how to land with the first job after graduation?
Oh, okay. I don't know how to put answer this question as well. So we do have like TNP placements happening at our college as well. So that is one thing. But always we keep an like always be on a lookout for off-campus drives that are happening, because I remember during my time there were multiple, like there was TCS Digital, there was like Accenture Drive, or like for me Microsoft was also off campus. So like just keep a lookout on the companies. Like there are, I don't know, Telegram groups, there are LinkedIn groups and all those things that kind of keep you updated about the off campus drives as well. But if you are really interested in working for one company, make sure that you keep an eye out on the careers portal of that company, because like they would also be posting the 2026 new grad roles, or like associate roles, or junior or like analyst roles and all. So like those are definitely posted on the careers portal first before they are spread about through WhatsApp groups or LinkedIn, or like all these influencers that keep sharing positions or like roles that are opening. So it's just being more aware about what are things happening in your field, and then just going it rather than just asking, oh, what are the roles, can you send me the roles? Or I know when I was working there were a lot of students that would reach out to me and they would ask, oh, do you know about any openings? And like that would have been my answer as well. I'm not an HR person, I'm not posting the roles. Go check the career portals, and then if you want a referral, then you can reach out to me. But I cannot just say that, oh yeah, these are the roles, you can apply to them, because everything is going to be on the careers portal. So just be active on LinkedIn, be active on the career portals of the company that you are interested in working for, and then just keep on checking for new postings. And then again, like our college also has like great opportunities, so be on lookout for those as well. I remember that there was a Facebook group for TNP as well, and like they would also post about these off
Yeah.
campus drives. So I think like that would also work.
All right. All right. Let me just answer one of the questions. Should we communicate in brutal way or soft way? See, in general, always tend to go for the soft way, and there is no soft or brutal way as such. Be yourself, but at the same time, be very respectful. And in general, I would say try to have a conversation like you would have with a respectable person, right? If they tend to go other way, then you will have to show some, emotion or communication way, but still keep it respectful when you're trying to communicate to a senior or other person, right? They can have an impact on your career as well. So that is one thing. And one of the other questions that is asked is, do AI really affect in the hiring process for freshers?
Oh, in what way? Like what
Yeah,
does that mean?
that even I think like see, I think AI is being used for like the selection process as well. And at this, I don't know if AI is being used for the interviewing part as such,
So
but
okay,
yeah, but yeah, it is
one
being
thing that
used
I
for that.
can. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
So
please.
people are definitely applying using AIs. They like resumes and all are created with LLMs, ChatGPT, Claude, and whatever. Recruiters are like filtering those through AI. Like there are these systems, Eightfold, Ashby, and all these things that kind of scores your resumes and
Yeah,
all those things. But at the same time, there is like human involvement, like a level of human involvement in the process as well. But it just happens where you think, like, it's not the first thing that happens. Like humans will look at your resume later in the stage, not at the beginning of it, because like there's one position for like a junior level developer or someone, and then there are 10,000 applications for it. There's like only maybe 5 recruiters for the role. They are not looking at the entire application stack, so they are filtering it through AI. But then there are also interviews that are happening with AI. So like if a company has like especially big companies like IBM and all these companies, they have first or second round as their automated video round, which I actually gave a round with Expedia during my undergrad. And that was also the same case there, where they would give you a question and you had to record yourself, and then like they would uh, score it or whatever, which is booming right now, because I know a lot of people who have given AI interviews round at this point. So there is a level of involvement when it comes to AI, but like ultimate decision would be by a human. And AI is not going to be like, oh, hired, oh, reject. Like AI is going to be like, oh, rejected, but AI is not the one that will be hiring you, or like anyone for that matter. At least at this point. Maybe in the future, anything can happen, but right now there is certain level of human involvement that goes into the recruitment process.
all right. I want to know how you was able to articulate your experience. I think it's a key for good communication because many times people forgot what they have experienced. I just don't understand that question.
No, I think I can take that. So,
All right.
to articulate your experience, you should be very much in touch with the things that you have done. And I think that again comes with practice. If you are constantly giving interviews, if you're constantly networking with people, if you're constantly talking about your experiences to them, after one point you will realize, oh, this was the one thing that I missed to mention. Maybe I'll mention it next time, and next time you would start with that thing. So this is one way that worked for me, that like I would just talk to people and then I would remember, oh, I missed this thing, so maybe I'll just include it with the next person that I would talk to. But the other thing is just make a list of all the things that would that you had done, or like you would want to talk about with people. And then just don't like memorize it, don't mug the answers, don't like rectify it. Be like casual about it, be conversational about it, and then just try to talk about all the points you have. If you just go list by list, or like this was A thing that I did, this was B thing that I did, this was C thing that I did, people would get bored of it. They would be like, oh, this person is like kind of self-absorbed, or like they are just talking about themselves. Make it conversational. Also ask about others. I get that like this would not work in interviews, where like you cannot ask your interviewer, oh, now tell me about yourself, at least at the start of it. But just be aware of the things that you would want to convey to someone when you're talking to them. So yeah, that would be the best way to frame your answer, and just keep practicing it. Practice in front of mirror, record yourself speaking it, and then hear it back and write it down. I generally, like when I'm doing my presentations or something where like I have to remember all the things that I have to convey to the audience, I would write down the points, so that like I'm like, oh, I covered this, I covered this, I covered this. So there are different ways for it. You just have to find what works for you, and that comes by practice.
All right. I think he also there is also another person who asked a way to prepare for getting in Microsoft.
Uh, I don't know what the current process looks like. I can share about the like my recruitment process that happened. Again, I don't even remember that now. It's like what 5 years at this point.
Yeah.
I think the first round that I had was a written exam. I don't know if you guys still use Mattel or something, some exams like software where like you do your essay and you do your like there was quant and verbal and then there was essay and all those things. So that was the first round, and then there were three interviews for me. First was a technical round, second was a hiring manager round, and third was uh, a company fit kind of round, which was with like the skip manager, like person who hires, like my manager's manager round. So last two were more behavioral and like company fit, cultural fit kind of rounds, and the first one was the only technical round. So I think like technical works. And my biggest advice here for any company and not just Microsoft would be to do things that makes you stand out. So that could be internships, that could be extracurricular activities, that could be college clubs or whatever like your interest is in, like whatever your interest is in. But make sure that you don't just have 10 CGPA as your only selling point in your resume. Like even if it's like 8 point or point something, but you have other things. So for me, I think it was ISEC. For me, it was internships. I did my internship like at BNest in Bhopal. There was like a couple of startups working there, and I was an intern there. I also did my internship at Appointee, and I was involved with ISEC heavily during my second or third year. So like I had a lot of leadership experience, extracurriculars, and like all the things outside of just academics. So I think that worked for me because like most of my interviews would go into describing these other things that I worked on. Not even projects. I didn't have a section for project in my resume. I still don't have a section for projects in my resume because like I just have so much other things to put into it that I just run out of space, and like your resume should be one page. So just make sure that you're doing things outside of academics as well. I don't know, like if I would be boycotted by TNP at this point for saying this,
No, no, no,
but
no.
it's fine.
Nothing of sort. Yeah, yeah. All right. So they're asking questions again and again. So see, uh,
It's okay.
Dhunin, I would recommend if you would want, just connect to Shreya ma'am, and she would be able to accompany you or answer your questions heavily, right? So that way, it could be a great connection for you as well because
Mhm. I
I'm
would be
just saying.
happy to take any other questions as well, just so that like anyone could benefit from it, like more people can benefit from it. But yeah, please connect with me if you have like very particular questions. I can answer you over LinkedIn or like wherever you reach out to me.
So, one of the questions is, what are the social activities that you did, like when you were living abroad, with different cultural people?
Social activities. So we do have clubs and student organizations here as well, and each each organization, each club has their own agenda of sorts. Like some would organize hiking tours, some would organize other sort of things, hackathons and all those things. So I didn't have like any particular interest that I would only do this thing. I would do whatever like interested me. There was a pumpkin painting session before Halloween, and I did that as well, and it was very fun. I still have the pumpkins and they have not rotten yet. So uh, I think like whatever I got a chance to do, and if I was interested in it and I had the time to do it, I did that. There was no specific checklist for me that I will do only this thing.
All right. Dhunyam, I'm gonna put the LinkedIn on in the description of this video. All right. So each and every one of you can contact her or connect with her. Right. All right. So that would be the end of it. Like I think the questions took a bit too long and everything, but it's all
I'm
right.
happy to
Uh,
answer. Yeah, it's okay.
yeah. All right. So that would be the end of it. This is the GGC episode, Beyond Borders episode number 6. We would see you in the future videos. Thank you for watching with us and have a nice day. All right.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.